What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 1% Better podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about something that affects every single one of us, the constant bombardment of digital noise. We live in a world now where we're always connected. But what happens when we step away from the screens? I'm going to share how disconnecting from technology gave me the space that I needed to reflect, recharge, and reconnect with what really truly matters. Let's dive into the power of a digital detox and how it can help you reclaim space for creativity and reflection. Let's get into it. So today we're exploring the importance of taking a break from technology. For me, I realized how much mental space was being consumed by constant digital consumption. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to share how stepping away from my phone and screens overall allowed me to be more present with my family and also my own thoughts. We'll also discuss the science behind why digital detoxing is crucial for our mental well-being, along with practical steps you can take to create healthier boundaries with technology. By the end of this podcast episode, you'll have actionable strategies to reclaim your mental space for creativity, focus, and your own reflections. So for me, I've gone through phases where I was constantly glued to my phone and couldn't put it down. Whether it was notifications, emails, social media, I was always plugged in. And I'm sure a lot of you that are listening have gone through this too. But after brain surgery, as I began my recovery, I started noticing how overwhelmed I was by the constant digital noise that was around me. I couldn't think clearly worth a shit, and I realized that the nonstop connection wasn't helping me heal at all. It was stressing me out actually a lot more and causing anxiety. So I decided to take a step back and detox from technology. And it wasn't easy at first. It was actually pretty difficult, but it gave me the time to reflect on what really mattered. I became more present with my family, especially my daughter and my wife, and more in tune with my own thoughts that were going through my head, whether they were for creative or if I needed to just focus overall. This time away from the screens became one of the most valuable parts of my recovery journey, allowing me to recharge mentally and emotionally. Outside of my story, though, let's look at the impact of constant connectivity. This number blew my mind. The average adult spends 6 hours and 58 minutes per day on digital devices. That's nearly a full day every week just consumed by screens. Studies have shown that constant digital consumption leads to increases in stress level, reduces your attention span, and it also affects your sleep. So your stress levels go up. Cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes with constant notifications and the pressure to stay connected. Basically FOMO for your screens. It also reduces your attention span. Excessive screen time reduces the brain's ability to focus, leading to a 40% drop in productivity. And then finally, your sleep. I love sleep more than anybody, so if I can improve it, I'm going to improve it. And it impairs your sleep. The blue light from your screens disrupts your melatonin production and it leads to 60% poor sleep quality. These effects leave us mentally exhausted, even if we haven't done anything physically demanding. Think about if you ever got caught in that scrolling cycle for a long period of time. You feel tired after. But ask yourself this question: how can I prevent it? What do I need to do? First things first, it's a digital detox. Stepping away from your screens allows your brain to rest and reset. A study from the University of California found that individuals who take regular breaks from screens, just technology overall, have 50% less stress, 30% improvement in focus, and 23% increase in creativity. So the results are clear. Taking a break from constant connectivity allows your brain the space that it needs to recover and recharge. One of my favorite lines that I love to tell people, including myself: disconnect to reconnect. And for me, after brain surgery, I was mentally drained for a while. Not just from the physical recovery, but from the constant flow of digital information. I found myself scrolling through my phone just out of habit because I was out of work at the time. I wasn't able to work out. I wasn't able to drive, but it was only making me more anxious by staring at my phone. I decided that I was fed up with it and I needed a detox from my phone and other screens for a few days. And the effect was actually pretty much immediate when I did implement this. I noticed that I had more mental clarity. So without the distractions of notifications, my mind became clearer and I could focus on my recovery. I had deeper connections with my family. I became more present with my daughter and my wife. Instead of being distracted on my phone, I was fully engaged in the moments we spend together. There are so many little things you miss when you are glued to your phone or looking at a TV or looking at your laptop or tablet when you're not fully engaged. And then finally, I had time for reflection. Disconnecting gave me the mental space to reflect on my surgery, my future goals, and my priorities that I really wanted to hone in on. It helped me realign with what mattered most in my life. My sense of what mattered went from here to here, a complete difference. And this experience made me realize how much mental bandwidth was being taken up by screens, and it motivated me to create long-term boundaries with technology. But I think as we sit here and we talk about this topic, why do we struggle to disconnect? Why is it so difficult? Let's talk about why it is so hard to step away from our phones and laptops. Social media platforms, apps, and notifications are designed to be addictive. If you haven't watched the documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, I highly, highly recommend you take the time to watch this documentary. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, and it is scary because of the information that it provides you, but it also gives you so much powerful information on what our technology, phones, social media does to our brains. Each time we check our phones, our brain releases a small hit of dopamine, the pleasure chemical, which reinforces the behavior then. And you do it over and over and over because that feels good. 46% of people, though, feel anxious when they don't have their phones around them. You basically feel naked without it. We've become conditioned to constantly seek the next dopamine hit, making it difficult to truly disconnect. But just like any habit, we can train ourselves to step away. And I also want to recommend a book. Let me see if I can find it back here. I can't find it at the moment, but it's called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. Really strong book to read. I recommend that to everybody. I've read it multiple times, and there's really good actionable information in there that you can take. But what are practical strategies for digital detoxing? So if you are feeling overwhelmed by constant digital noise, these are practical ways to start detoxing from technology. The first is go on your phone. I know that's kind of counter to what we're talking about right now, but go on your phone and set screen time limits. Most smartphones at this point have built-in features to track and limit your screen time. Start by setting a daily limit of social media or any other apps that consume your time the most. For example, try limiting yourself to 1 hour of social media per day. And as time goes on, start cutting that number down more and more. Take a minute off, another minute after that. Basically going into our 1% better approach every single day. Next, create tech-free zones. Designate specific areas in your home where technology is not allowed. This could be in your bedroom, the dining room, or anywhere you want to be more present and focused. Removing screens from the bedroom improves your sleep quality by 25%. I make sure that when we're ever at the dinner table as well, so when we're sitting down for dinner, there are no phones. We are totally present with what's going on, what we're eating, what conversations that we're having. You can also schedule digital free time. Just like you schedule work meetings, schedule time each day or week to be entirely screen-free. Start small. Maybe it's just an hour in the morning or the evening, and then let that increase over time. My approach has been to have no screen time for the first hour of my day. That hour is completely dedicated to starting my day with positive momentum. I like to wake up, make my bed, go through my morning routine in the bathroom, drink water with salt, have a cup of coffee, getting sunlight outside and walk barefoot in the grass. I like getting 10 minutes of meditation in. That time is increasing as well. Also 10 pages of reading and getting an exercise in finally. That hour is dedicated to getting my day started with positive momentum. So I make sure that I start with making my bed, then going downstairs, drinking water with salt, Then I like to do some meditation, reading, and getting an exercise in. And we've talked about mindless technology use, but what about mindful technology use? When you do use technology, practice mindfulness by being intentional about it. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, decide on a purpose for using your phone, whether it's checking emails, reading an article, or connecting with somebody. This helps break the habit of mindless consumption. Next, take a digital detox day. Consider taking a full day off from all digital devices once a month. This can be your reset button for your mind, helping you reconnect with the things that matter most. Many people report feeling completely refreshed and creative after just one day of no screens. If you can't do a full day, go for an hour, then go for 2, then go for 3, and so forth until you can do a full day. Work it up, just like a muscle. And there's plenty of benefits from digital detoxing. The benefits of stepping away from technology are both immediate and long-lasting. You're going to have better focus. So people who reduce their screen time report 20 to 30% improvement in their concentration. You're also going to have better relationships. Without the distraction of screens, you're more present with the people around you, leading to deeper, meaningful conversations. After embracing digital detox, I felt more energized personally. I also was way more focused, and I felt more present in all areas of my life, anything I was doing. And it's not about completely eliminating technology. It's about finding the balance and making space for reflection, creativity, and connection. So to wrap things up, in this episode, we talked about the importance of a digital detox and how stepping away from technology can help you reclaim the space for reflection and creativity. In a world that's constantly pushing us to stay connected, it's more important than ever to create boundaries with technology. I want to thank you all for listening to this episode of the 1% Better podcast. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love you to share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. And as always, continue to improve 1% better every single day. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.